We just sitting it in the corner, life live it out. Know them fender girls don't understand it all, yeah. Ain't no hesitate, we just make it babe. Paint them cushions in those corners, no it isn't safe. But for my sake, will you save it all? Cause you'll do the same to my heart, yeah. Late model princess got me going crazy. Yeah, she got them wings and never wing it down. Late model princess, yeah, she makes me listen with that dirty, yeah, that got you hot and bothered. Late model princess, yeah, oh man, with that body riding. Late model princess, yeah. See, I like a Dan, you know what you are, I know what I am. You a little late model star, and I'm a sprint car man. You float the middle size, I'ma take your time and blow it. I'm a little bit of ghetto with that, send it then you'll know it. And I gotta get it going now, gotta catch me that eye. My mode is always fight or die. It's all the seize the moment's time, but while the clock keeps ticking by, you keep on talking on my mind. I'm contemplating situations where you could be all of mine, cause you're that late model princess, got me going crazy. Yeah, she got them wings and never wing it down. Late model princess, yeah, she makes me listen with that dirty, yeah, that got you hot and bothered. Late model princess, yeah, oh man, with that body riding. Late model princess, yeah. My late model, will you come and see me? Oh, one more time. Late model princess got me going crazy. Yeah, she got them wings and never wing it down. Late model princess, yeah, she makes me listen with that dirty, yeah, that got you hot and bothered. Late model princess, yeah, oh man, with that body riding. Late model princess, yeah. I slide 'em like Carson Macedo, and they can growl about it, lonely like old bro Joe. Cartel gonna care for me, not you, cause I'm the CEO. I'm here to fight, looking to sink with my torpedo. I'm just a lap car trying to survive, running in the back, fearing my life. Cause there's a black 2041 guy adding to the junk in the field with some white on white crimes. Or is it 99 maybe? I don't give a damn, but the bank statement's lately adding up to the junk that the crazy man's making. Reckon her, reckon him, non-binary, maybe, who knows? If I don't like 'em, I slide 'em like Carson Macedo, and they can growl about it, lonely like old bro Joe. Cartel gonna care for me, not you, cause I'm the CEO. I'm here to fight, looking to sink with my torpedoes. Carson Macedo. And I don't know where we go from here and what we think about it, but it seems to me, gotta be about it. Time for talk and speak comes across as weak, especially when dotting I's and crossing T's. It seems to be what they all want and what they need. And then you'll go, oh, oh no, just like them cars. Down while he goes, and then they get to finally feel like Carson Macedo. If I don't like 'em, I slide 'em like Carson Macedo, and they can growl about it, lonely like old bro Joe. Cartel gonna care for me, not you, cause I'm the CEO. I'm here to fight, looking to sink with my torpedoes. Carson Macedo. If I don't like 'em, I slide 'em like Carson Macedo. And they can cry all about it, lonely like old bro Joe. Cartel gonna care for me, not you, 'cause I'm the CEO. I'm here to find, looking. We can ride high, we can ride low. We can ride anywhere we need to go. We can ride all night up to the morning, as long as we make the show. We can be the best, or we can be the worst. So we can be the best thing you ever heard. With the motor singing and the grandstands ringing, it's hard to put it all in words. But this is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wild, and handsome. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong, or what to choose. Hey, but this is how we do. This is how we do. Out on the dirt ovals we play, life in the bright lights with no shade. Ready, rip. Praying to God, ready to rip. On my high, ready to rip. With the armor, ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ooh, yeah. Trying my hardest to stay with the best. Flexing Giannis, S on my chest. Facing problems down the depths. Ready to rip. Coming correct. A fish in the water. Hit my marks. Hooking its head. Indian honest. Wearing my Hans and strapped in his harness. Ready to rip. Hey.
Oh my.
Ready to roll. Ready to
Oh
rip. Ready
no.
to reach.
Oh my. We are here today. Oh yes, in another hotel room. You tell me all about it. Go ahead and tell me all about it. Another hotel room, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my. We are here. We are here. We are ready to rip. Oh yes, we are. Oh yes, we are. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my, ladies and gentlemen. You tell me. You tell me one way or another. How's it gonna go? How's it gonna go? Oh, you let me know. Right here, Little Pecker Landscaping. Who else has got the Little Pecker? We need to know. Hey, what's going on? You in a Motel 6? No, we are not in a Motel 6. You disrespectful. I swear. We're turning everything off at this point. Motel 6. We do not do Motel 6s. Not tonight. No, that's the king size bed back there, sir. Oh yes. Oh yes. We are not at the Motel 6, unfortunately, for some of you people, but you do see it at the top left of your screen. We did, in fact, add another and dropped a sponsor as well. We added a sponsor. No, not a Super 8. It is a Days Inn, if you must know, you assholes. We did add another sponsor onto the sponsor list here on the Chaz. Of course, we added Little Pecker Landscaping out of Reading, Pennsylvania, yesterday, earlier. On Sunday, we added on Impact Signs, Awnings, and Wraps out of the Kansas City area. Impact4800.com to get more information on that. And then, yes, you see it. You see it right there. We have signed an agreement with Shield Protection, ladies and gentlemen. Shield Protection here on the show. Kevin Sharrah out of California. Let's get it on the screen. We might as well at this point. Shield Protection out of California. You see it right there on their Facebook page. New situation starting out there on the West Coast. They are responsible for Justin Sanders. I know y'all have seen the Narc in West Coast videos. He's got a new fire suit because he was wearing the Bubbly Brands one for like 15 years. They are responsible for that new Justin Sanders suit. Of course, they got plenty of good deals going over there. It is a new business, so you can call or text Kevin Sharrah directly. You'll see his number underneath the logo up there at the top of the screen. They do two-layer custom designs, full custom sizing, unlimited embroidery for $12.75. It's a deal out there on the West Coast. Three-layer at $16.50. A 3-week turnaround period they're looking at right now. Artwork proofs within 48 hours. How about a tongue twister? They're all SFI certified, best quality materials, and they believe the fastest turnaround times in the business. Once again, you can call or text Kevin Sharrah at 530-680-3771. And this is a multi-month agreement here with Shield Protection. And, of course, everybody's going to, but Chaz, you were doing the Velocity deal and all that. Well, Bad Brad over there at Velocity, me and him have a very long relationship. And when Kevin Sharrah reached out to me about doing this ordeal, I said, I got to talk to Brad first. So we did talk to Brad about it. He has no issues with it. Obviously, Velocity USA has always did great things. They're huge. They're nationwide, worldwide. Bobby Pierce is and all that. So they're already established. I like helping things grow. So Shield Protection over there on the West Coast, growing, I think, in the right way. They got some good stuff out there. Obviously, like I said, already helping Justin Sanders get a new fire suit, but they got some slick suits out there. I mean, look at that thing going down the leg and everything. That is clean. Man, that's legit. But anyway, Shield Protection, once again, you'll see his number at the top left of your screen. It is the top right of mine, but it's the top left of your screen. You'll be seeing their logo flash across here. Link is in the description, or information is in the description. Their Facebook page, Shield Protection, to check them on out. They also have dealers. Tyner Hurst is a dealer, as well as Swindell Speed Lab is a dealer with Shield Protection. So if you're in any of those areas, you can go through those individuals to get your protection done right. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank Shield Protection for jumping on board, and thanks Velocity for the years. And once again, I mean, it was more of a friendship, supportive deal there with Velocity. We were trying to do some of the selling and all that, but there was just too many Velocity dealers across the country. They were, in my opinion, jealous of the Chaz. I'm just joking, but in my opinion, jealous of the Chaz. So they kind of ruined that idea in certain areas. So it's fine. Things worked out one way or another. We have signed them on. And then once again, the new one up there, we got 2 signs on there for Impact as well. And then DIRTTRACKCHAZ Opticians. I mean, I know I ain't been wearing the glasses on here. My eyes are pretty damn good, I would say. We're going to be eyeing some things tonight. It's going to be very interesting on the show. But the one thing I hate about the DIRTTRACKCHAZ glasses is when I have to use the ring light, which is like a situation right now. We're in a hotel room. The reflection off of the glasses, just because they got the anti-glare, so it reflects things very superbly with the DIRTTRACKCHAZ opticals. And it adds it looks like, I feel like sometimes when I went and edited, I was like, I look like the Terminator. One eye circled because of the ring light, one eye normal. I just wasn't down for the plan. But anyways, Shield Protection over here. Check them on out if you are interested in getting any kind of protection for your racing suits and fire suits out there in the motorsports world. Good deals, unlimited embroidery. Once again, they believe that they're at the top of the game for turnarounds, looking at 3 weeks, at 48 hours on artwork proof. That's a heck of a deal. And then, of course, Justin Sanders. Like I said, man, Justin Sanders is the guy over there. I'm pretty sure Corey Day is not going to be getting him any Shield Protection items anytime soon. Let's look in the chat. Are y'all even awake in the chat? Is anything happening in the chat? Oh, you're making fun of my hotel room. Rico was good before Ricky, but sucked for a while, and now Rico is back. Is the boxing match still on? No, the boxing match was called off by the Crawley regime. We've already talked about this. I don't understand. Chaz, what's up with the 2 announcers, Ruben versus DJ, Ben taking jabs at one another? I did see that going around with the Lucas Oil series. I guess made some kind of comments towards the World of Outlaws and playing music and hip sayings or something like that. And I guess, Ruben the next night kind of took a jab at them, talking about college football and drinking whatever kind of coffee they drink. I don't know. I mean, I would assume that, Lucas Oil, or I would say this. I think there is something to the World of Outlaw brand that represents superiority. I think even right now, a lot of people in the sprint car industry feel like, the World of Outlaws is still the superior brand. I just think that that's the case. I don't think there's any way to get around that currently with the depth and the teams really that are on the World of Outlaw tour. And even though the late model world is a little further down the line in that split series world, I think that when you toe to toe their rosters, the Lucas Oil late model series is far superior uh, than the World of Outlaw late model series right now. Big time. I mean, we did it the other day. We saw Bobby Pierce, Nick Hoffman, Tim McCready coming back. That's helping him a little bit. But when you go down the point standings for Lucas Oil, it's just hitter after hit. You got to get outside the top 7 or 8 to really start comparing with some guys. Now, Nick Hoffman's coming along. Ryan Gustin, he's established kind of, right? I mean, Ryan Gustin's good. But once again, you go down the list on the Lucas Oil side, and it's just extremely dominant. And I think that not in a serious fashion, but the Flow Racing dirt on dirt little clique over there that's a part of Flow Racing can get cocky at times. Personally, I think they can get cocky with how good and they do a damn good job. Let's not even second guess the superiority of how good Flow covers their late model division. And obviously, the World of Outlaws, as far as that brand's concerned, you're never going to be treated, in my opinion, the same or as prestigious as the Sprint Car Series. It's just not going to be capable. I think maybe the attention to detail, or I'm not saying there's lack of funding or points championship or anything like that. It just, when you think World of Outlaws, you think sprint cars. And when you think Lucas Oil Late Model Series, you think Lucas Oil Late Model Series. And when you look at the rosters, one's superior. When you think of Flow Racing and the broadcasts, I mean, of the late model, the premier late model events, probably the best broadcast of all racing history was the late model Eldora Million. I think that little clique knows how good they got it going on right now. And that little clique doesn't mind rubbing it in the other side's face, and I think maybe they could benefit from bouncing back and forth, but you could hear how in that clip that y'all are talking about, I guess we should probably pull it up, but you could hear how happy, DJ and Ben and that group was to say what they were saying. And then you could also kind of hear how sad Ruben was to say what he was saying. Let me see if I can pull this on up because y'all made it a topic now. We might as well go and explore. I know I shared it. I'm just going to have to scroll a little bit because I've been sharing potentially the greatest content on the internet, which is TK, not Tim Kading. It's a whole nother scenario. Hold on. We're going to be scrolling here for a sec. I don't think we're going to be able to scroll that long. Who was it that made that post? Do y'all have at the top of your head that clip? Who is it, guys? I mean, that's really the shocker to me. That was the shocker to me is how sad technically that Ruben sounded. I think it was John Horn's Facebook that this was posted on the other day. I know y'all are coming in here for sprint car topics, but this is pretty interesting. The post that was made showing the two sides of this little announcer squirrel. Here it is. We actually do got it here. Here's the web. John Horn posted it. Of course, these clips are from Flow Racing and Dirt Vision, so I'll probably get flagged for showing them. But this is the audio that initiated this. The World of Outlaws and Ruben did not, but this is the clip that apparently offended Ruben and the World of Outlaws. This bottom clip here, and this is what was said.
You see the field starting to take shape in what we like to call one of the prettiest sights in all of racing. This is a salute to you, the greatest race fans in the entire world. We don't have songs to play, we don't have fancy sayings to give, but we do have some pyro to shoot off, and we have got the best dirt late model drivers in the country right here in Nebraska for you tonight, and they're going to come back around one more time for you, Eagle. How about it, ladies and gentlemen, as they come around? It's the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, and they're coming at you four wide.
So, really, the only part that was offensive, or they're saying is offensive, is this little clip right here.
Greatest race fans in the entire world. We don't have songs to play, we don't have fancy sayings to give, but
that's it. We don't have songs to play or fancy sayings to give, like, you know, only the best go for breast, the World of Outlaws, greatest show on dirts, whatever. So, you'll hear what I was talking about as far as, like, he sounded happy, you know, to say that shit. Whereas it sounds like Ruben is sad. But I think that they're happy over here because they know how in-depth their lineup is. You know, this Lucas Oil lineup, once again, no disrespect to Tim McCready and Bobby Pierce, but that Lucas Oil lineup, when you go down to the standings portion of it, is just, it thumps the World of Outlaw roster, in my opinion. But here's the response by Ruben, and you can kind of tell what I said, you know, or was saying by, you know, it's like he's sad, honestly, to respond in this.
One of the most awesome sights in all of motorsports, and yes, we play music and have a script. We don't talk about what coffee we drank in sports that won in some random team in college, and talk about what's on our hair. We have fun here with the Outlaws. I was told about that last night.
He just sounded so sad there. I was told about that last night.
Most awesome sights in all of motorsports, and yes, we play music and have a script. We don't talk about what coffee we drank in sports that won in some random team in college, and talk about what's on our hair. We have fun here with the Outlaws. I was told about that last night.
So that's for the sprint car people. That's what the guy in the comments is talking about. These little comments back and forth. Once again, I think that little clique, they know who they are. Even though I like them, have always had great interactions, decent interactions at the worst. I think they could get cocky about it. I don't know if necessarily the coffee and the college sports sometimes are trying to fill things. I know Essex starts talking about some stuff too, which is the veteran, kind of not in that clique. The clique is the little dirt on dirt clique that's migrated to flow. But I think they could be cocky, especially in this segment or in this era of dirt late model racing, where Lucas Oil is just thumping the roster of the World of Outlaw Late Model Series. And I think somebody like Ruben, who knows that, who watches the sport, has watched the sport from an even odd perspective, didn't grow up with brand loyalty to the Outlaws, like the sprint car world especially, kind of knows that. And I think that's why he kind of has this kind of slow, sad, almost disappointed response, because basically Lucas Oil called out the World of Outlaws for being soft here.
Most awesome sights in all of motorsports, and yes, we play music and have a script. We don't talk about what coffee we drank in sports that won in some random team in college, and talk about what's on our hair. We have fun here with the Outlaws. I was told about that last night.
Yeah, so if I was to wrap this whole segment up about this scenario, World of Outlaw Late Models got called out for a soft roster. That's what I feel happened here. And me personally, as a sprint car guy who has been watching late models for, a little time now, I mean, we can do it once again. We did it the other day. I know this wasn't the planned topic of the show, but that's fine with me. I like stuff that just comes out of nowhere. We go to this roster for the late model series. Once again, no disrespect to UMP and USMTS. Of course, UMP, USMTS, that is the big modified series that Nick Hoffman and Ryan Gustin have graduated from. And there is huge potential behind those names. But this is the World of Outlaw Late Model Series roster up front. Bobby Pierce, Nick Hoffman. This is top 5. Bobby Pierce, Nick Hoffman, Ryan Gustin, Drake Troutman, and Tim McCready. Okay? Now, Nick Hoffman and Ryan Gustin, Nick Hoffman's won some big races. Ryan Gustin has won some big races. I'm not being disrespectful when I say that. This is just what I'm saying as well. And I think, like I said, the little cocky people over there at Lucas Oil, they know where they're sitting right now. They ain't bragging about having all these rookies on the ladder. You know, they ain't bragging about that. They're not being cocky. They're not being arrogant. They're not being flamboyant about, of course. They're not being flamboyant about a good payout for their full tour drivers, or they're not being arrogant about that. I think I may have to look it up on my phone if this hotel internet is horrible. Once again, do not support Days Inn, I guess. But they're being, just off the top of my head, they're being a little arrogant and cocky about Ricky Thornton Jr., about Jonathan Davenport, about Brandon Overton, about Hudson O'Neal. I believe Brandon Shepard's on there full-time this year, too. We can go down. That's just 5 guys who, just off the top of your head, as a novice late model guy, is consistently better than a Hoffman. Unfortunately for y'all Hoffman fans, then a Gustin, then a Troutman, then Tim McCready recently. Hopefully he turns it around here. But that's just 5 guys off the top of my head. There's the list right there. Finally, it loaded. Geez. Show me 100, of course, this weekend with the late models. But look at this. Look at this top 10 in points. Ricky Thornton Jr., Jonathan Davenport. I am so sorry I forgot about Deb Moran. Garrett Albertson. Garrett Albertson's comparable to a Hoffman and a Gustin right now, I think. Maybe. I can't say maybe Moran or Davenport or Ricky Thornton. I can't say that. I can't say they're comparable to those guys. I just feel like Thornton, Davenport, Moran are a step faster than Hoffman and Gustin consistently. That's just me, at least with the records I've seen. Hudson O'Neal, Brandon Overton, Brandon Shepard. You even got Tyler Urban there in 10th. I'm not sure if he's a Lucas guy full-timer or not. But I'm just saying, it's just, there's just no comparison to Bobby Pierce, Nick Hoffman, Ryan Gustin, Drake Troutman, and Tim McCready. There's potential here. There could potentially be a better future over here. I think Ethan Dotson's really good. Sorensen, I think, has got something. Maybe the Chamberlain guy. But right now, I think that there's no comparison in these rosters. Lucas Oil is for the sprint car fan. Lucas Oil is more like the World of Outlaw sprint car series, and World of Outlaws is like ASE is, World of Outlaws late models like ASE is. That's about what we got here. Maybe that's a little too I just don't know. Maybe this is NARC. How about that? This is NARC. Maybe you could say PA Regional Racing. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a series. But there's just no comparison. The only thing that evens it out maybe is Bobby Pierce. Because Bobby Pierce could be a guy who could win the Lucas Oil title if he was racing their series full time. But also, Bobby Pierce has 4 wins. 11 top 5s, 14 top 10s. In 16 starts. Probably the 2 that weren't top 10s were wrecks, and probably the 3 that weren't top 5s was he had a flat and had to come from the back with 10 to go. But I mean, look at the consistency up here in the top tens for the three good drivers on the tour. I mean, McCready's coming. Once again, McCready's coming. That's another guy who could win a Lucas title, but he didn't look good. Now he does. Let's see what happens. But I think that's why you had that video get made between the two series, and I think Flo and their group knows that. I think they know how strong that group is. Let's see what y'all are saying in the comments. What you think of Ruben as an announcer? Why are y'all hijacking my show? It's 30 minutes in. I haven't even got to talk about anything I want. And y'all are trying to get me to give a Ruben announcer critique. That's kind of mean, right? I mean, Tim McCready has been a beast. I don't know if you could say he is now after a good weekend. He's looking like he could be again. I don't know. I think that late model racing needs two announcers in the booth. I think it's hard to fill the shoes of Rick Eshelman. He was put in a very bad spot. I think the traditional, extremely now, sprint car racing has a traditional fan base, but we celebrate women drivers at least, and diversity. The late model fan base is extremely traditional. And I think there could be some ill-righteous judgment of how good Ruben is or is not as an announcer due to that very traditional fan base of the late model community. James Essex is amazing, but James Essex and Ruben and Rick Eshelman, I just think the single mic collar don't work anymore. In modern sports, anything that gets big, it's never a single collar outside of horse racing. So I think you need two guys in the booth at all times. Is it too much for a Ruben? I don't know. Do I like his style? I think his style is good. I think his voice may not always suit it. It's like somebody who can sing really well but doesn't necessarily have a great voice for it. I think you could slide that into Ruben, but then I got to question myself, is that my own traditionalism getting in the way? But people don't question themselves that way in our society, so I have to do it for myself. I don't know for a fact. He's good at announcing, like his delivery, his singing ability behind the mic is good. I just think you need two people. I think you need two people, especially with how long the late model races can go and get drawn out. I think you need two people to keep it entertaining as well. And I think that's why it's almost more essential that the late model community have two announcers behind the mic, just to have, even if it is, college football and coffee. I'm not against that. Something that's the downtime conversation, and I think sprint cars need to go to two announcers too. I think if you want to get bigger, you need two people in there. Essex needs a second in the booth if for no reason the joke's back and forth. Exactly. And yeah, I saw a comment that said exactly what I'm trying to say about Ruben. Yeah, John B. He's good. He just sounds like Kermit. I didn't say Kermit. But yeah, his voice is not. He does sound. Now that you pointed out he sounds like Kermit, now I'm not gonna be able to get that shit out of my fucking head. Thanks a lot. They used to say Jordan Peterson sound like Kermit the Frog, and now I'm gonna think he sounds like Jordan Peterson. I guess this is true. He does. Does he sound like Kermit the Frog, guys? Does he sound like? And once again, I don't know if that's just a part of the traditionalism, since it's not some white country guy up in there or white collar some bitch. You're up there, you don't like how his voice sounds. That's what it is, I think. That's why y'all don't like him in the late model community, because he's not one of your people. That's why I think. But, I mean, I do think a two announcers is a must in both sprint car and late models going into the future. I think if it's going to grow, it needs more than one person. Even the sprint cars in the late model industry, or even the sprint cars in the high limit in the World of Outlaw industry right now, high limit does it best because they involve Tony Laporte at just about every single break, and they talk back and forth between him and Chase, and it's almost like a clown in the rodeo talking to the announcer or something. Not saying Tony Laporte is a clown, but they have their comics and their jokes, and they go back and forth. And the sprint car races go so fast that there's usually not this downtime. And if there is a red flag or something like that, that's when Chase and Tony toss it back and forth, and there's information and things like that. So the late model racing, though, it can take a long time to get through an A main. It could take a very long time. There's going to be drawn down times. So I think two people are important to make that situation work properly. Anyways, on to the topic. At hand. We wanted to do callers. We may not be having callers now. Y'all just took the callers out of the game. We have a announcement for a driver. I gotta see where he's running right now, but oh God, don't tell me this. Hotel Internet. There we go. Race Saver Speed Week is this week. It's down there in Texas. It did kick off tonight. Carson Bowden, one of our rostered drivers, is competing in the series. It is going to be at 67 Speedway tonight, Rocket Raceway tomorrow, Hunt County on the 23rd, RPM and Heart of Texas. Decent payouts on the race night payout, $1,500 to win, $250 to start. That's for 305s. It's a 305 touring series down there. Top 10 getting paid in the championship series for the Race Saver Speed Week. So that is being broadcasted on raceon.com. Now, unfortunately, we have to go from this great topic to this one. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Kyle Larson on the Pat McAfee show. Some people call me a Pat McAfee, an asshole or whatever. David Gravel calls me Stephen A. Smith. Donnie Schatz calls me Joe Rogan. But this is the actual Pat McAfee show. Kyle Larson is coming on there because he is, as you can see, the title they put on there, racing in the Indy 500 IndyCar and Coca-Cola 600 NASCAR this Sunday. Of course, Pat McAfee played for the Indianapolis Colts. He expresses in this video, if you see it on ESPN, as a title, Kyle Larson will race in the Indy. He expresses in this video. They talk about dirt tracking just a little bit. Not sure Pat McAfee's been to a dirt track race. Larson did mention his Garmin watch that he previously wore in high limit races because they are outlawed now. He did mention at one point that his heart rate stays pretty low in the IndyCar, NASCAR stuff, but on the dirt tracks, it spikes to some unbelievable levels, and everybody's like, wow. I do feel like Larson throttled back on talking about the dirt racing too much because that's not why he was coming on here. But this was posted today, and this happened today on the Pat McAfee show, one of the most popular shows in sports entertainment today. Now, you would think Kyle Larson, all this hype around this event this weekend on the Pat McAfee show, 13.7 million subscribers that ESPN has. Unbelievable numbers here. Unbelievable. You would think people would want to see this, right? You think they would care about this Kyle Larson guy that they obviously have had to heard about a little bit. I mean, at least, if not now, at least there during COVID, This has to be a pretty important video. Funny enough, during this video, and I don't know if this is the Illuminati making fun of me even more, but they have a ton of Tom Cruise quotes in the scroller bar below. As you can see, there's just Tom Cruise quotes over and over. Obviously, Mission Impossible came out, but once again, I only think that, Gordon and Larson are here because of Days of Thunder. But regardless, This video was posted 7 hours ago. Let me show you something. Yeah, there's Kyle. Funny enough, 223 likes, 223 likes, 322 skulls and bones. Let's just continue to ignore these things. Oh, 224, okay. 48, Jimmy Johnson. Okay. This video was posted 7 hours ago. 2 times 23 is 46, by the way. Co-trickle. This video just now passed 7,000 views. Not 17, not 70, not 700. In 7 hours, the video with the greatest driver of modern world's existence in Kyle Larson on a channel with 13.7 million subscribers with Pat McAfee, somebody everyone watches, just went to WrestleMania and was in a match, could only garnish 7,000 views in 7 hours. What does that tell you? What does that say? What it says to me is no one gives a fuck. What ESPN sees here is no one cares. Look, it just got 1 view. We've been here for 5 minutes. It ticked over 1 fucking view. 13.7 million people got a notification on their phone, and 7,000 of them in 7 hours decided to push play. Do you know the percentage on that? That's like 0.000000001 or 0.05 or something. No one cares. And, you know, Kyle's talked about this. People have talked about this. Oh, we got 2 more. People have talked about that. You know, Kyle talked about how he loved going to the Chicago road course race. You know, and Kyle and some of the NASCAR drivers, they, I don't think he said he loved this part, but he was explaining how small racing actually is. And he described how him and a few drivers walked around in downtown Chicago with their fire suits on, and no one even cared or knew who they were. They didn't even stop to say hi. Now, these people can jump in their little dirt track bubbles or NASCAR or IndyCar bubbles and have 5,000 or 10,000 people in line to get an autograph, or a couple hundred, and feel like they're important. But in all reality, there's 7,000 views in 7 hours on a platform that has almost 14 million subscribers. And this isn't like average guy, right? This is the guy. This is the GOAT of American motorsports. This is the 1A, doing the 1A biggest thing of all that should ever matter in motorsports, racing Indy and NASCAR, the 1,100-mile mission for the second time. He's got some practice. This could be it. Now, see, some of y'all will disagree, but the reason I think that, once again, this displays that America is disinterested. The world, by the way, ESPN is not just a single entity. Once again, they're owned by Disney, which is owned by Feld Entertainment, I do believe. Or Feld Entertainment's owned by Disney. One way or another. There's only like 8 people who own everything. But this shows you that the world doesn't give a fuck about this. about Kyle, about Indy 500s, about Coca-Cola 600s. They just don't give a fuck. Dirt Tracker's getting more views. Hell, I can get more views if I wanted to be an ass enough. Well, actually, we did. We got 70,000 views just filming. Aaron Reitzel get black flagged at Baps. Hell, I think that's up to what is that up to now? Somebody tell me. We're yelling about Amish beer and vinegar and French fries. What's that video up to? 77,000 views. So people like dirt organically, but they don't give a fuck about this shit in the mainstream industry. And you know why? This is what I've been saying. I have a feeling all of us race fans who watch my shows and watch my videos and watch these sprint cars and watch these late models and all these, hell, the IMCA modified, USMTS, UMP, name it. If all we could ever watch or go to and see was Indy cars and NASCAR racing, I don't think we would be race fans. I probably would not be. I just don't find it entertaining. I went to the Indy 500. It was a great spectacle, all this build-up, and we get to the race. And I guess due to my understanding of what racing is, I was bored out of my fucking mind. And I think a lot of people are in the same category. They're just not exposed to the sport that we all know about. That gets Kyle Larson's heart rate up to 195. And they're all like, wow, what's that? And I think that NASCAR's slowly starting to realize this. I think that's why Chris Bell's off the leash. I think that's why Ty Gibbs is in a sprint car. I think that's why big conglomerates like Flo are involved. I think that's why Flow Company Real American Beer is sponsoring the World Outlaw Late Model Series. Maybe that's why they were cocky on the mic. I'm not sure, but I think that NASCAR and these series are viewing these things. And they're also viewing the organic, and Tony Stewart even alluded to this, the organic growth and popularity of dirt racing that ain't experienced an ounce of mainstream publicity. I mean, when's the last time you really saw a sprint car on ESPN or just pushed? Let's just say pushed. I mean, they shoved this Indy car and this NASCAR shit down the American throats. They're force feeding them it. And I think they're tired of being force fed. And I think the greatest tasting hamburger or steak or fuck vegan salad out there right now, whatever your best meal is this dirt racing shit. And oh, you don't like sprint car racing? Okay. Check out this late model shit. We got more than one flavor of ice cream over here for you. It's just not promoted. And I think due to the fact, it used to be, ESPN Speed World used to show, the world used to see our form. So if they didn't like NASCAR, IndyCar, they tune into the other shit. And I think that that's about to start happening. I think that this is a signal to these industries that if you don't start pulling out something that entertains this new crowd, this short attention span that's only got time for a 30-lap sprint car or 100-lap late model race, and it's actually entertaining, it's not this big endurance race. Okay, well, go watch the Tour de France. Fuck your endurance shit. Tired of it. Oh, it takes too long to get there. Motherfuckers are sitting around for 9 hours to watch the Kentucky Derby. Some horses go around in 2 minutes. I'm tired of your excuses. You're just an excuse train to me. I'm talking about the facts. The facts of the matter is, as far as visual entertainment, there's nothing out there better than sprint car or super dirt late model racing. It's just not out there. And unfortunately, some of the most boring fucking racing you could see is the shit I watched at Kansas the other week And it's probably, and the shit I watched at Indy last year, and probably the shit I'm going to watch at Indy this year, waiting for fucking 30 minutes to see if somebody's gas runs out or who takes a fucking pit stop. That's not why I'm a fucking race fan. I'm a race fan because I see a group of cars going there 4 fucking wide, slinging shit and getting 900 horsepower side by side, throwing sliders back and forth with these late models. Or I'm watching these 950 horsepower sprint cars run around this fucking dirt track faster than anything you fucking seen in your life. Throwing sliders and getting runs and pulling closing rates off that you don't see in any other form of visual entertainment outside of jets in the fucking air. So, if that shit don't start getting pushed, this actual entertainment form of motorsports, all that materialism that our society is about right now is going to take your fan base with that fucking F1 shit. And then now you can sit back in our seats and have a taste of our shoes, looking at a boring form of even more boring form than even your fucking sport, getting more attention and more glamour than you. And ultimately, respect. Because that's what that shows right here. That don't just show that y'all aren't getting attention. That shows that y'all aren't getting any respect. And now the shoe's on the other foot. Y'all got a better race than F1. Oh. A better race matters now as far as getting attention and respect? Oh, but now you want to work with us. Send us Ty Gibbs, Chris Bell back. Oh, I'm sure you're hoping your Wyatt Millers and Braxton Bushes come up in our shit and you're going to promote that. And then sprint car racing can take over when you get your tentacles attached to it directly. When you have a leash on the fucking dog. Don't want it to run wild now, do you? Let's just all work together. The Indy and NASCAR worked together to take CART out the same way you were worried about us taking you out, too. That's what I think. But that's what this shows. That's what this shows. And y'all can complain about, oh, well, F1s ain't got a better race than us. Well, none of y'all got a better race than we do. And you're crying attention, respect. Either you let authentic, raw, fucking action on the racetrack start getting pushed and promoted, and maybe you'll have a chance at people liking our slice of ice cream in the dirt world, because we got the best shot as far as action on the track. Or that materialistic fucking glamour society over there in F1 will extinct your ass. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. So you can have your Tom Cruise quotes down here with your Tom Cruise Part 3 on the screen. Or Co-Trickle Part 3 on the screen. With the 223 likes and all that. But at the end of the day, y'all are going to kill racing in America if y'all don't let America start seeing real fucking racing. If y'all don't start pushing that and putting that on the menu and maybe shoving it down their throats just a little bit like y'all been shoving y'all shit down theirs for 20 fucking years. And you really been shoving it down the last 5 to 10 because your product really got bad. You've diluted your fucking hamburger worse than McDonald's. Your Taco Bell is shit now. Anyway. Any opinions, chat, to the shocking evidence? Oh, my God. I'm worried about Haley Deegan. Of course. Indy is the team UF1. Okay. Let's get into the actual topics of the show. That's the one I wanted to hit. Our winner from last night. Oh, what the hell just happened? Rico Abreu picked up the win at Grandview. This is a topic, I didn't know it was a topic, but we'll touch on it since I saw people talking about it today. We talk about what people talk about. Rico Abreu picking up the win at Grandview. I thought it was pretty impressive. I thought Brad Sweet had a chance. I thought Brad Sweet should have stayed pounding the cushion in the last half of the race. It looked like that's where his car was better at, and everybody else started floating to the bottom. So I thought that would have gave him a lot of clean racing lines and a lot of clean air or cleaner air to run around the top and just blast the cushion. It seemed like some of the lap cars were scared to get up there. I was in the grandstands. It was a very treacherous turn 1 and 2, and entering 3 was very treacherous. Of course, we saw Ashton Torgerson get into that wall, which may have intimidated a lot of people to get off of it. But just like Kokomo, y'all continually want to hate on this guy. Y'all continually bash Rico Abreu silently. Even when I came on here and talked about the watch scenario, said it didn't really matter, said I came on to talk about Kokomo and how great the race was and the finish. Thought it was one of the greatest nights of motorsports we've ever seen. A product like that would get America into motorsports and find it exciting and must see and all that. The watch thing happened. We talked about it because that's what we do. Thought we were fair. Just get rid of the watches so these bastards could stop talking about it. They did. They got rid of the watches. But then, after he wins the race, we get this. This is a message that was sent to me. Look at the little green deal, Chaz. He's got something going on again still. This is a screenshot from a message that was sent to me, where they're circling the little green dot under his racing collar. And you could see it in the other image as well. Little green dot. For those bitching about that, pretty sure it's just a microphone, a DJI microphone to record audio for his online content. I believe he's got Sprint Car Hub over here filming and doing some things with the Rico brand. So I think that's what's happening here. That's all that is for some recording audio. At this point, I mean, he got rid of the watch, guys. I mean, come on. So that's what the little green dot is. It's not some three-way communication, although could it be? Could it be? We got to take it out now. You could, because anything you can listen to, you can also record with. Anybody who remembers back in the day, you could take headphones and plug them into the microphone, the old school stuff. You could take headphones, plug them into the microphone auxiliary, and it would still kind of work. So anything that is a speaker can technically be a microphone. Technically, it won't be the best, but there's two-way. Anything that can speak can also, or can produce sound, can also receive sound. It just depends on how you got things wired up. But I don't think that's the case here. And then we get into more topics, people questioning Rico in general. They're saying, is it Rico or Ricky Warner? That's the reason Rico is doing so well. So now they're trying to take all credibility. You don't need to watch. You don't need the two-way communication, which is just a Sprint Car Hub audio DJI recording device. It's now he's not even a good driver. It's Ricky Warner's fault. Ricky Warner is why Rico is doing so good. That's what it is. That's what it is. Now, unfortunately for those people who are saying that, it's hard to not, and a lot of people would say that, and I've talked to some smart people when they're questioned, if you were to build a race team, I'm not going to say his name, would you start out looking for a crew chief or a driver? If you had all the money in the world, how do you build it perfectly? How would you build an organization? And in most people's minds today, you would start with crew chief. I think most people would say that. I think crew chief is very vital and important. I do think there's elite drivers. There is elite drivers. There's probably, I'd say, 10 true elite drivers, and then there's probably 4 or 5 I mean, are we adding Bell and Larson? Once again, our product is destroyed because we send our best talents away. The World of Outlaws and High Limit should have Larson and Bell and Corey Day in it. And then once again, our product would be destroying theirs. But once again, you include those guys, you got 5 to 6 elite guys. You take those 3 guys out. Or if you include those guys, you probably got 12 total. I wouldn't put Corey Day in the elite yet. But you probably got 5 or 6 elite drivers. I just don't know if you could say that for crew chiefs when we're talking about elite. You know, some are proven, some aren't. You know, it looks like the guy doing the wrenches on Brad Sweet's cars looking very, very stout. Mooney obviously has his history there with the McAfee car. You know, guy who left Kyle there with the 49, he's obviously potentially, elite. Obviously can do some things. Cody Jacobs, I think Phil Dietz is in there. Paul Silva, Ricky Warner. But then, I mean, there's even gaps in that, right? Is there? Who's consistently on it all the time? And who can take one driver and go to another and make them stout? And that driver's success is based on if he has that guy or doesn't have that guy. That's the real telltale sign. When a driver is matched with one of these guys and performs well, but when he wasn't or isn't matched with that guy, he performs subpar, average, or not good at all. That's where you can kind of see if it is the driver or if it is the crew chief with particular individual results between those relationships. Obviously, there's one on the screen right now that jumps off when you think of that. And, of course, Ricky Warner and Donnie Schatz did some unbelievable things in the sport. But we'll look at some stats here for those who hate Rico. This is a stat of a driver with an elite crew chief. We got 6 lined up here, elite drivers, we're going to call it, with their results in 410 sprint car winged racing. This driver won over 10 wins one time in his career, racing mainly locally in 2016. This driver never went over 10 victories again. He only went over 5 in a span of, 6 years. 4 times at 6 with 83 starts, 56 starts, 70 starts, 56 starts. You see that. Top 5s, 13, 17, 27, 29, top 5s, and 83. That's not bad. Earnings, you can look at the money side. Look at this jump here, guys. This is pretty substantial, is it not? So you see this. Look at that. From 2017 to 2021, full racing schedule, basically anywhere from 50 to 80 races, or 60 to 80 races technically. I mean, we're looking at 58 and 56. 125,000, 130,000, 115,000, 105,000, 139,000, 188,000. This is not sustaining a sprint car team. And then all of a sudden it jumps. 71 race schedule, 13 wins, 41 top 5s out of 71 races, career almost doubling his top 5s. 58 top 10s, almost doubling in the same sense. $506,000. You look at his ratings. Rated 13th, 22nd, 12th, 19th, 16th, 13th, and then jumps to 4. Following that up, 71 more races, 11 wins, 31 top 5s, 50 top 10s, 568,000 in earnings. Rated 4th. And in this year, 17 races, 6 wins, 10 top 5s, 14 top 10s, $121,900 in earnings. So that's a significant jump there, would you not say, from 2022 to 2023, especially in the earnings department, due to the consistency in the top 5 and top 10. And crew chiefs help a lot. Now, obviously, something changed for this driver. And unfortunately, for the Rico Abreu haters, this is Rico Abreu's stats. And unfortunately, possibly for the Rico Abreu defenders. Because I think this is what people are seeing when they're being a little critical of Rico and giving some or a lot of the credit, or I don't think you can give all the credit, but a decent amount of the credit to Ricky Warner's involvement with the team, because that's where it changed. And in the earnings department, he's definitely earned his keeping. So, is it really critical to say it's Ricky Warner's fault that Rico's doing so well? I don't know. I will say that Rico was very elite. Obviously, he had Paul Silva in here as a crew chief at times as well. I mean, he didn't have any slouches. I think we saw him do a lot of elite things in midget racing when it was not easy to do midget racing, but obviously you got Keith Coons and the KKR support in that scenario. But this is a significant jump, and that significant jump without Ricky Warner versus with is pretty big. Now can we sit here and now maybe the debate should change to who's better, Ricky Warner or Paul Silva? And if we look at the results, I think we have an answer, right? But then there's also, like I said, that picture. Here's another driver's stats. Very long career. Look at these wins from 2014, 91 races. Geez, they were really going at it. I'm looking at 98, 90, 97 races back there. 2000. 14, 26 wins, 31 wins, 26 wins, 23 wins, 24, and then 11. And then 5. 5, 5, 5, 5, 6. Earnings really didn't change too much, but, I mean, they did change. 5s and 600,000s to 3s and 2s. A couple 4s in there. Obviously, the ranking. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 5, 8, 2, 8, 11, 21 currently. 23 races. And, of course, the correlation here is this is Donnie Schatz. So we have two evidences here of losing a crew chief like Ricky Warner and gaining a crew chief like Ricky Warner. I definitely think Ricky Warner plays a factor in the successes on some of these drivers. Now, these two, it's Donnie Schatz. I mean, he obviously can drive a damn race car. It's Rico Abreu. He obviously can drive a damn race car, but there seems to be an advantage lost or gained in this scenario on the track. The facts, the stats say yes, that Ricky Warner is making these guys in particular, it's making their results change. These are just statistical facts, in my opinion. Now, let's look at some other drivers. We do have some pulled up. Hell, I don't even know who this one is, actually. I'm kind of scared. Hasn't been racing too long, 2008. Of course, all these results are not just World of Outlaw results. This is 410 Wings Sprint Car results. This driver, 2017, 87 races, 20 wins, 73 top 10s, and then bam, down to 5. Unbelievable. What a joke this guy is. 2019, back up to 14, 76 races, 65 top 10s. Consistency as a cleaner. 2020, 69. Of course, COVID probably played a factor that year. 2021, 14 wins, 68 top 10s out of 82. 72, 7, and 63. 80, 13, and 68. 70 last year, 16 wins. And, of course, at this point, I guess you can guess that is David Gravel. So David Gravel was proven to have some elite stats there in 2017. I believe that was with the CJB car. He did that. And then in two years later in the Jason Johnson 41-14. Then they had their 2020 year, and then he went to the 2 car. I believe that was the beginning of the 2 car in 21, 22, one of the two. 14, but consistent. So you got an example here with David Gravel of how he can jump in different cars, different organizations, and produce results in the win column and the top 10 column. So as far as I have to judge this so far, I'm looking at a guy who bounces around, wins, has success no matter who is crew chief, what car, combos, all that. This guy is better than the previous 2 names that I listed. That's how I would see it. If I was having to write it all down, ranking system of who matters more for this guy, the crew chief or the driver. David Gravel, he's leaning on the driver's side. It looks like Rico and Chaz is leaning towards the crew chief side. Let's see here. This one right here started racing 2012. 2018, 61 races. Looks like that's when he started going big time. 6 wins, 38 top 10s. 80 races in 19, 4 wins, 49 top 10s. 65 races, 4 wins, 49 top 10s. And then bam, all of a sudden, 87 races, 12 wins, 73 top 10s. 76 races, 14 wins, 61 top 10s. A little bit of a slump here, 80, but 9 races, 68 top 10s. So this driver is in the crew chief side. Because this driver was winning, but something made a difference. That's Carson Macedo. Bam. JJR 41. 4 wins, 80 races, 18 top 5s out of 80. 20 out of 65, and then bam, doubling your top 5s. Pretty much doubling your top 10s. Tripling your wins first year. Macedo, lean towards the crew chief. Let's see this one. There's 2 more left here. Now this one's, I don't even remember who this one is. But it looks consistent. Jumps all over 11, 17, 10, 17. A little slumpier, 22, 5. 23, how about that? 79 races, 69 top 10, 69 races, 11 wins, 56 top 10s. Pretty consistent. This guy looks like he had it going on for a very long time. Brad Sweet. Looks like that's leaning on the driver. Obviously, had relationships in there, but we've already talked about how it went back and forth a little bit. He's still performing well this year. 18 races, 2 wins. But, I mean, Brad Sweet's fast this year with the new guy under the wrenches. So, and he's had 2 others. So, Brad Sweet, you're leaning towards the driver's side. And then, of course, it's hard to say on this one. But, I mean, 14 races, 3 wins, 15 races, 7. That's pretty good. 25-5, 24-4, 68-32, 26-11, 28-7, 28-10. Look at that. 28 races, 25 top 10s. 68 races, 61 top 10s. Of course, it's Kyle Larson. We're leading towards the driver, right? Because we already saw in Rico's previous stats where he had Paul Silva as a crew chief, it was like, eh. And we know that that's who this guy's doing all of what he's doing right now with. Imagine if Kyle Larson had Ricky Warner. Holy fuck. Or Cody Jacobs. Or one of these other guys. I mean, because we're seeing over here with Rico what Paul can do versus Ricky. Going back in the years to get those stats, but I'm just saying. So, anyways, Rico, Abreu, is it Ricky Warner? I mean, I'm not saying mean or anything, but Rico and maybe Donnie, guys. We've already got the Chevy example. I'm hoping maybe something special happens here soon, but Donnie's on the driver's project, obviously, calling out the tech stuff, believes in this third-party tech committee deal just like me. He was on the driver's project. Go check it out. He lets loose, so maybe it's the tech area that's causing all this as well. But we're seeing some changes here with a Donnie Schatz, who's a bad son of a bitch, and a Rico Abreu, who's a bad son of a bitch, in those win columns that are obvious. So there's some definite credit due to that guy on the left. Some definite credit. But once again, we can't sleep on the fact you do have David Gravel examples. You do have David Gravel examples. You do have Brad Sweet examples. You also have Macedo examples that it isn't Ricky Warner, it's Phil Dietz, but it made a difference, didn't it? So I'm putting Carson Macedo over here with Donnie and Rico. And then and those are the ones leaning towards the crew chiefs are mattering more than the driver. And then I'm sitting over here and I'm putting Gravel, Sweet, and Kyle in that driver is mattering a little more than that car. And Kyle superiorly. And I'm putting, I mean, honestly, all of these guys superiorly because they bounced around. I'm just saying Kyle because we have Kyle here with Paul, and we got examples with Rico with Paul, and they don't compare to Ricky. Now, some of y'all could say, oh, well, Rico's so much better than Kyle. Well, I mean, he's winning. And maybe that is true. Maybe Kyle is carrying Paul. I don't know. I'm not going to say that. I think Paul's very smart, but it didn't work out with Rico on the same level as Ricky Warner. So, yeah, these guys are crew chiefs matter. Schatz, Rico, Macedo. We could go down the list on more than these. I'm just giving some brief examples, and these are the drivers over here. Gravel, Sweet, Larson. Just an example with stats. Anyways, into the chat we go. This could be interesting. Failed on dirt racing. Donnie needs a personal chief or chef. True Truth. Follow. Thank you, Truthbot, for the follow. Failed on racing dirt. Show Larson. We just did show Larson. Sorry. I guess y'all are watching more than commenting. Finally, y'all are paying attention. Good job, class. Anyways, that is pretty much all we had for the show, ladies and gentlemen. We were going to end it at that. We are just past the hour 18 mark. We are doing our laundry in the hotel laundry. We pushed go and ran up here and started the show, so it takes about an hour to dry. So hopefully my clothes are still down there. Hopefully I don't find them at the Goodwill tomorrow. I hate when people say this guy or that guy would win a World Outlaw Championship before they even run for one. Yeah, that's stupid. That's dumb. It's ignorant. According to that site, Tanner Holmes is 32 and Justin Sanders is 38. Maybe. Larson with 26% win percentage is nuts. It is nuts even more with Paul Silva. I mean, looking at the Rico stats is what's amazing there is he had Paul Silva in there. I don't know the full years or spans, but I know he had Paul Silva in there for a decent amount of time. Where's that special guest? The special guest is scared. The special guest is scared to come on here and ruin his reputation in the sport and get blackballed forever. That's what's happened to the special. This is the cartel out there, guys. That's the cartel out there, guys. Who did y'all want me to look up? I wonder what Bell looks like. Christopher Bell. I bet you they don't even have any. No driver found for Chris Bell. I guess they probably have it Christopher Bell. Oh, they do have Christopher Bell. And he's drove so many different things. And not a lot. That's the problem. Yeah, look, he just hasn't raced a lot. 31 races and 14. 2 wins. Very average there. No rating. Best rating ever is 20th, and that's this year. He's got some wins, I guess. 18 starts, 12 top 10s. See, down there in the South, it's all 360 crap. I wonder if they're counting the 360 races in this. Yeah, look, it's all 360 track wins, win total wins. Like USAC wins, midget wins. Yeah, his midget, what's his midget stats? They don't even got midget stats. They don't care, which is smart. Derek Carnett, a lot of midget races. A lot of midget races. Who was the other driver? Y'all said somebody. I was like, I'd like to know that. Where are you going tomorrow? I am headed towards Central PA tomorrow. More in the Harrisburg area. Have a plan to do some interesting things. Have you ever seen someone who weighs less than 175 pounds that owns a jet? Leave old boy alone. I'm not sure what you mean. Sheldon. Oh, you wanted to see Sheldon. I don't really want to hate on Sheldon, man, because he's had some bad goes. But the deal with Sheldon, guys, and he could hate it, and I think I've said it before anyway, but he's the Dale Jr. of the sport. It don't matter how good or bad Sheldon does. The sport's going to keep him in it. He's a hell of a draw, and he is the son of the wild child. He is the Dale Jr. of the sport, and he's going to have Dale Jr. style stats. He's going to win some, but it's not going to look all that great. At least he's more exciting than Dale Jr. I think he's a hell of a lot better driver than Dale Jr. Let me say that for a fact, but I think all these guys are. Rating 9, 7, 6. He's been good in the ratings column. Look at that. That's not that bad. I mean, I know people think of Sheldon as a big letdown sometimes, but even as I was pulling up his stats, I was like, it ain't gonna look good, but it's not bad. Only one 10-win year. That was 2022. But 5, a 9, a 1, a 6. The top 10 is low. That's what hurts Sheldon. You know, he's win it or wreck it. So 7, 9, 10, 3, 8. 1 win this year, 23 races, 15 top 5s. That's a little more consistent than some of these things. Although, if you run the Outlaws for it full time, you get some low car count sometimes, and running top 10's almost automatic if you're an Outlaw funded team. But yeah, there's Sheldon stats. The wins is decent though. Winnings, they're 200, 300,000, 394,000. Last year was his number 1 winning year of his entire career. Wow. Of course, he won Huset's the 1 year, but I think it was just 100,000 when he won it. It wasn't 250, or was it 50,000 or something? It wasn't a $250,000 to win race, I think, at that time. I think that was 22, 371,000. But last year, number 1 earnings year at 394. So that's Sheldon. Currently rated 11th. And there is the current ratings for drivers in America. Gravel's 1, Larson 2, Rico 3, Anthony McAfee 4, Kofoid is 5. I wonder what Kofoid's looks like. It's pretty good for a rookie or a newcomer to winged 410. Rated 10th in the nation last year. 441 in earnings. But Danny Dietrich's rated 13th, guys. Oh, God, what's going on here? How is Cap Henry rated above Chris Bell? The results test, not the eye test, guys. The results test here. Interesting. Anyway. Justin Sanders is better than Tanner Holmes. Okay. It was 22 and 100K. Okay. Yeah, 100K. Look at Steve Kinzer. Is Larson better and has a higher? So you want to look at Steve Kinzer now? Wow. He's going all out. Oh, God. We're loading Steve Kinzer's. Oh, no. This is a cardinal sin. The Catholics are going to be so mad. Do we want to go back here where it's like 52 wins and 45 wins and 30 wins? Or we want to look at Steve Kinzer when he's, 59? Well, you got to remember, guys, Steve Kinzer was like 50 years old here in the mid-2000s. 49, 48, 50. He was winning 30 races. 90 races, 78 top 10s. 95 races, 84 top 10s. He's like 50 years old at this time period, guys. If we go up here to like 60-year-old Kinzer, I mean, yeah, it doesn't look great, but it's still not bad. I mean, 2011, 68 races, 9 wins, 52 top 10s. It's not horrible. But yeah, I don't think there's comparison to some of these stats earlier in the frame. 95 races, 84 top 10s. At like 48. He's like 48, 49 years old, I think, at that time. Unbelievable. Too bad they didn't track all the stats as far as money earnings. Well, look at that. 2010, he had $301,000 in earnings with just 9 wins. The sport used to pay a lot more, man. They can tell you what they want, but they're lying. They're all just framing for coal. Framing for coal. Comparing Larson to Kinzer. Stop. Exactly. I'm not looking up these random drivers. If y'all want to do that, you can go to sprintcarratings.com. Okay? Sorry. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We are in the hotels tonight. We will be in the hotels. I'm not sure for this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to go to Port all 3 days. I'm thinking I might go to Williams Grove Friday. I'm thinking I might do it. I know Sunday is definitely going to be the Port day. But I don't know. And it is looking like we are potentially going to be going to Western PA Speed Week, which starts Wednesday. I know. I said it. Western PA Speed Week. I know. Should we do it, guys? Y'all tell me. I don't know. Western PA Speed Week. Should we shine the light on what's going on the other side of the state? I'm kind of scared. I'm not sure. But anyways, thanks for tuning in once again, ladies and gentlemen. We want to welcome in Shield Protection for sponsoring the show once again. Go and check them out on their Facebook page. Kevin Sharrah, of course, over there from the California side of the country. Impact Signs, Awnings, and Wraps. Of course, Impact 4800. If you need your Deathridge glasses, if y'all do any kind of... here's why I don't wear them, guys. Look, I'm going to look like the Terminator. Look at that. It's the Terminator right there. Like, look, if I'm looking at you right now, it's the Terminator. Come with me if you want to live. That's why I don't be wearing the glasses, but they are nice. I mean, really nice. I'll be wearing them driving down at the streets at night. I keep them in the car. Deathridge Racing Opticians, you see it at the top left of your screen. They take insurance over there as well. So I didn't have insurance, but nice pair, Oakley's, prescription, bifocals, whatever you need. Check them out over at Deathridge. Be sure to mention the Chaz when you do so. And then, of course, we want to thank Little Pecker Landscaping and all the Little Peckers out there. If you haven't checked out our Justin Peck interview, I do suggest you do here on the channel. We posted it today. It's a really good interview with Justin Peck. You should definitely go check it out. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, as always, like the video, share the video, go to the streaming platforms to listen to the Chaz in the music departments. Just search the Chaz on whatever platform, Pandora, Spotify, all the things. Listen to the tunes until we're back here on the show. As always, be sure to subscribe, and we will catch y'all next time. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen.
In the back, fear in my life, cause there's a black 2041 guy adding to the junk in the field with some white on white crimes. Or is it 99 maybe? I don't give a damn, but the bank statements lately adding up through the junk that the crazy man's making. Reckon her, reckon him, non-binary maybe, who knows? If I don't like him, I slide him like Carson Macedo, and they can cry all about it. Lonely like old bro Joe. Cartel gonna care for me, not you, cause I'm the CEO.